Hello everybody and welcome to another video. I've got here the KeyForge 2-player starter set, or I should say the new KeyForge 2-player starter set. Ghost Galaxy is actually doing it a little bit differently than Fantasy Flight used to do it with their 2-player starter kits. So I thought it would be interesting to open one of these on camera and see how it goes. Ghost Galaxy did put out their own video where they go through one of these, but I also wanted to put out a video where I took a look, opened it up, and see what they're like. And it does also contain 2 Winds of Exchange Archon decks, so obviously we will be opening those up at the end of the video. But without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so removing the plastic wrap here. Now, if I remember correctly, what they were saying is that they're going to keep the contents of the 2-player starter sets pretty much the same from set to set. Like, they're not going to change what's in there. They're just going to change which 2 decks, like what set the 2 Archon decks are from. So that way they're not getting like a new set with like a new kit with new pieces and everything, like every time a new set comes out. But instead it's just going to be one uniform. This is how two players play the game of KeyForge kit with then 2 different decks from different sets. So let's open this up here. So right here at the top we have this Learn to Play KeyForge. You don't need to read the rules. Scan the code below to watch a video tutorial on how to play KeyForge. So this is super cool. As soon as you open up the box, you are instantly greeted with a QR code that will lead you to a tutorial on how to play the game. That's actually really awesome. And then after you've learned the basics of KeyForge, be sure to read the inside of this pamphlet to learn more about the new rules introduced in the latest expansion set, Winds of Exchange. So that's really neat. And then there's the back side here, advertising Winds of Exchange and Archon decks and everything. So that's really cool. And then the inside of the pamphlet here, it looks like there are an explanation of the token creature mechanic, some new rules. They tell you about the keyforging.com website, Master KeyForge rulebook. Tells you a little bit about Winds of Exchange up here, introducing the merchant compacts of Equidon. Tells you about flip. So a lot of these are the like newer mechanics of Winds of Exchange in particular. So like the flip mechanic is only on a couple of cards in Winds of Exchange and no other card from previous sets. Splash attack is a newer keyword. Swap control. So this is nice just to have a quick review on the newest like keywords and everything that are introduced in Winds of Exchange here. So that's really cool. This is a nice little pamphlet to greet us when we open the box. All right, so then the next thing on top here is the rulebook, rules of play. Looks like there's a quick reference here for turn sequence, bonus icons. And look at that, they're already showing off the discard bonus icon, which will be showing up in the next set, I believe. Grim Reminders. Choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. The card you choose may belong to any house. So this discard bonus icon is not actually in Winds of Exchange, but it'll be in the next set, I believe. And then as will the new house Geistoid. So we got this nice little graphic showing all of the houses that have shown up so far, and then one in the future here. And then this is interesting, the generic counters in 2 colors. So in KeyForge, there are a number of cards that will ask for a specific counter, such as like depth counters or doom counters, scheme counters, stuff like that. So it's really cool that it looks like they're going to be including this new counter to keep track of that stuff in 2 different colors. So that's really neat. So let's actually dig into these pieces here and see if we can't find those. So this is the first set of pieces. We got the 1s, the 3s, the 5 damages, the Ember, a few sets of keys here. And on the flip side, so these are the generic counters right here. So we got some green ones and some purple ones. So if you need to keep track of something like a depth counter. Then we also got the wards, the chain trackers, +1 power counters, and rage and stun, just like always. So that's really neat. And then of course at the bottom here we have the 2 KeyForge Winds of Exchange Archon decks for the 2 players to start out with. And then we also have a couple of these. So these are reference decks from what I remember. So we have Radiant Learning Deck and Onyx Learning Deck. So to prepare using this learning deck, set aside this card, the Archon Identity card, and the Chain Tracker card. Then arrange the other 18 cards from the Radiant Learning Deck in a face-down stack in numerical order. Card number 18 should be on the bottom, and card number 1 should be on the top. The first 7 cards you draw should therefore be cards 1 through 7. So then it has the list of cards right here that you'll be putting in that order. So you'll draw through those 7. So let's actually crack these open real quick and take a look at what these cards actually look like. All right, so this is the flip side of the Radiant Learning deck. So these are both sides of it. And then it looks like we have a chain tracker right here, which is cool. And then this is what the cards actually look like. Wow, that that shadow effect really makes it look 3D. It's not 3D. This is still just a 2D printed card, but wow, that shadow box looks, it really pops. Wow. So if we set this down here and we draw cards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So these cards are really cool because they have this additional text that tells you exactly what these mechanics are. So Incubation Chamber says Omni reveal a Mars creature from your hand if you do archive it. And then it explains what exactly archiving is. Archived cards are placed face down out of play. At the start of your turn, you may put all cards in your archives into your hand. Or moving on to Champion Naphiel, who is 6/1, has Taunt. Taunt is a constant ability. It is active even when this creature is exhausted. Taunt means this creature's neighbors cannot be attacked unless they also have Taunt. So these learning decks are really cool just to walk you through the basic mechanics of the game before actually throwing you into one. So instead of having just 2 decks for you to choose from and open and then start playing with them, they also have these smaller decks right here for you to look through and learn the mechanics with. Sergeant Ezekiel, play you may ready and fight with a neighboring creature. And this says a neighboring creature is any creature next to Sergeant Ezekiel in the battle line. That creature you ready and fight with may belong to any house. So these are really cool just to walk you through these basic mechanics. This is one that explains what exactly traits are. This one tells you how upgrades work with Badge of Unity. An upgrade is attached to a creature in play which modifies that creature in some way. And notice that they're using cards from all sets, not just Winds of Exchange. I mean, this is a Worlds Collide card. This is the Winds of Exchange card, as is Yixel the Iron Captain. Sergeant Ezekiel is from Call of the Archons. So they're giving you really great examples from across all the sets. Here's Medic Ingram, who explains what warding is. So overall, I think this is a really awesome way to introduce a new player to the mechanics of KeyForge in a pretty simple way. And then in addition to providing decks, so here you go. Once you have all these mechanics, you've read about all of them, you see what they look like on cards. Now here's a deck for you to actually go and experience those mechanics for yourself. So I think that's really awesome. So here's one that explains what a bonus icon is, how Omni ability works, what elusive means. So it's really cool. I really love the way that they've done this. It's very simple, it's clean, it works, and they have 2 different examples, or they have 2 different decks. So those are the contents of the 2-player starter set. You got the game bits, the rule book, these 2 learning decks, a couple chain trackers, and then obviously these 2 Winds of Exchange Archon decks. We might as well open these up and see what's in store, and see what exactly the 2 new KeyForge players would have had if this box had landed in their hands. Let's take a look. Let's open up this first one here. Houses Equidon, Brobnar, and Unfathomable. That's a really solid trio of houses with, is that the Warrior or the Berserker? I always get those 2 confused. Their artwork is very similar. Cool little Archon here. Cavalier Carmine. That's a funny name. All right, so it looks like it was the Warrior token. Warrior cannot reap unless there are no enemy creatures in play. All right, starting it out with the Unfathomable. We have Flounder Right. Destroy the creature on your opponent's right flank. Skullback Crab has poison and action, steal 1. Ooh, Fathom Reaver. Make a token creature. While you control a token creature, your opponent refills their hand to 1 less card during the draw card step. Oh, nice, Befuddle. Choose a house on your opponent's identity card. During their next turn, they cannot play cards of other houses. Super strong, super disruptive. Do we have 2? No, we just have the 1. Bubbles. Double bubbles. And then there's the Soleft to go with the Flounder Right. Destroy the creature on your opponent's left flank. Holy cow! The triple Ember Sleep with the Fishes. Oh my gosh. Play Destroy each exhausted creature. That is crazy. The triple Ember enhancement on there. Wow. Kaup. Illusions of Grandeur. That's a really nice, classic Unfathomable card. Oh, and then Guiltspine School. Play, make 3 token creatures. Token creatures do not ready during their controller's ready card step. So, a bit of a cost there for making 3 token creatures, but I mean, that's still pretty cool. Oh my goodness. And then the Briozorch. What a terrifying card. When your opponent plays an action card, instead of resolving its play effect, destroy the creature on your left flank. Just a ridiculous Ridiculous. 6 power effect right there. Legendary Bryozorch. Alright, moving into Equidon, we have Trading Frenzy. A friendly creature and an enemy creature each capture 3 from their opponent. The Old Tinker, elusive. After reap, discard a card from your hand, draw a card. Shrewd Investor with an Ember Pip. Play, you may have your opponent gain 1 Ember. If you do, capture 4 Ember. Mass Buyout with an Ember. Destroy each creature. Each player gains Ember equal to half the number of creatures they control that were destroyed this way, rounded up. I was playing a game recently, and I had this incredible Mass Buyout turn. Gained 6 Ember off of it. Destroyed 12 of my own creatures, and the opponent only had like 2 creatures, so they just gained the 1. It was really cool. Hire On, make a token creature. If there is a combined total of 6 Ember or more between both players' pools, archive Hire On. General Zaorha, play, for each forge key your opponent has, make a token creature. Gemcoat Vendor, I absolutely love Gemcoat Vendor. Action, steal 1, deal 1 damage to him. Auction Off, some really solid artifact control. A Puzzling Trinket, that's where some of those Ember Pips are coming from. When you resolve an Ember bonus icon, you may choose to resolve it as a capture, damage, or draw icon instead. And for Captura 2.0, essentially. Oh wow, double Puzzling Trinket. So if one gets destroyed, we have another one to back us up. That's awesome. Market Crash. Destroy each non-token creature, gain 2 chains. So good against other sets, and even against Winds of Exchange. Just a really solid board wipe. Exchange Program. Oh yeah, that goes so good with things like the Shrewd Investor, Trading Frenzy. Alright, and then into the Brobnar with a Shock Herder with a damage pip. Deploy. Ready and fight with a neighboring creature when you play him. Rowdy Scald. Ragnarok Prep, make a token creature. Then if you control more creatures than your opponent loses 2 Ember. Fresh Marks, I love this card. Destroy friendly creature. If you do, exalt 3 enemy creatures. Brick Nasty, legendary. After another friendly Brobnar creature fights, gain 1. Volca gives each friendly Brobnar creature splash attack 1. Unguarded Camp. For each creature you control in excess of your opponent, a friendly creature captures 1 Ember. Each creature cannot capture more than 1 Ember this way. Double Unguarded Camp. This one with an extra Ember Pip. That's funny. Overrun. Blood of Titans. Oh, Pingle Who Annoys. Interesting. After an enemy creature enters play, deal 1 damage to it. Some really good token creature like counter tech. And then Banner of Battle with an Ember Pip, or a damage pip. Each friendly creature gets +1 power. Well, overall, this deck actually looks pretty fun and solid. That Unfathomable looks evil. Befuddle, Illusions of Grandeur, Bryozorch. That triple Ember Sleep with the Fishes is really funny. Double Puzzling Trinket is cool. I didn't see a whole lot of token creature generation, but I mean, that's okay, I think. Overall, looks pretty dang fun. Alright, so that was deck number 1 from the 2-player starter set. Let's open up the other one. Alrighty, so deck number 2 here. Mars, Equidon, and Unfathomable. We got more of these 2 awesome houses, and Mars has some heat as well. And that, I think, is the Diplomat token creature. That's a funny looking Archon. Kind of has some like antenna and stuff coming out there. A Idlewild, the Haven Fugitive. Alright, so we have the Diplomat token creature here. 1 power elusive. After each player gains 1 Ember. So it's a very speedy token creature if you can generate lots of them. Alright, starting off with Maelstrom. Very nice board clear. Especially Winds of Exchange has some very unique properties. This one has an Ember Pip on it. Double Maelstrom. Interesting. Kelpminder, enhancing capture and 2 draws. Kamlani with a draw pip. Very nice. Destroyed, make 2 token creatures. Initiation with an Ember Pip. Very nice. Make a token creature. If you have fewer than 4 cards in your hand, archive Initiation. And like I've said in past videos, having those enhancements on these archivable token creature makers is always really cool. We have the Guiltspine Netcaster, Frigorific Rod with a capture, Abyssal Sight. Goes great with Kamlani, and just even on its own is such a good card. Destroy friendly creature. If you do, look at your opponent's hand and choose a card from it. That player discards that card. So good. Yanthi Ghostfin. Elusive. After reap, purge a creature from a discard pile. If you do, make a token creature. Timoti the Damned. Play, make a token creature. While you control a token creature, your opponent cannot forge keys. Pure disruption right there. Kaup with a draw. Sobog's Thingamabob. After your opponent forges a key, exhaust each creature they control. Oh, wow! And then going into the Mars, we have a Legacy Grabber Jammer. Your opponent's keys cost +1. After fight, after reap, capture 1. That is super cool. That's a really great card to have as Legacy too. I love Grabber Jammer. That is awesome. Then we have Scoop Up. Put a friendly non-Mars creature and an enemy non-Mars creature into your archives. If that enemy creature would leave your archives, return it to its owner's hand instead. Ironix Vatminder. Play, destroy to make a token creature. Ironix Rebel. Heck yeah, that's what you like to see. Deploy. Play, ready each of Ironix Rebel's Mars neighbors. Genetic Blast. Deal 2 damage to a creature and each other creature with the same name as that creature. We got Clone Home to make a token creature. If there are more friendly creatures than enemy creatures, archive Clone Home. Yixel, the Iron Captain. Each friendly Ironix creature captures 2 Ember. With Ironix Vatminder, that's pretty solid, and Ironix Rebel. We already have some pretty good Ironix creatures in here. Red Planet Raygun with a draw. This creature gains after Reap. Choose a creature. Deal 1 damage to that creature for each Mars creature in play. Nice. Psychic Network with Ironix Rebel is so good. Memrox the Red. Your opponent's cards cannot leave your archives. So, always goes great with the Scoop Up. I think Memrox always comes with something that will abduct an enemy creature. Action, gain 1 Ember for each card in your archives. Ironix Banner. Play, make a token creature. Each friendly Ironix creature gets +1 power and armor. Oh my goodness. Martian Revolution with an extra Ember Pip. Destroy each friendly creature. For each creature destroyed this way, make a token creature. I have always been curious as to how this card, how good this card actually is. I really want to give it a shot. I mean, just to like destroy all your dudes and then drop this massive board full of diplomats, and then next turn go Equidon and just reap out for 1 million. That'd be very interesting. So this is a cool card. I like that. All right, moving on to the Equidon, we have Steward Suit Uzane, double, triple, Ornate Talking Tray, Omni Destroy it, make a token creature. General Za-Orha with a capture and draw. Another General Za-Orha, this one with a capture. Force Retirement with a draw. Destroy a creature. If you do, its controller gains 1. Belligerent Guard enters play ready, and your opponent draws a card when you play him. Double Ember Belligerent Guard. Wow. Dust Pixie levels of Ember enhancements and is 8 power. And enters play ready. That's pretty cool. Scrap Scrounger. After Reap, swap an artifact from your discard pile with a card in your hand. And Gezrahi Blacksmith. Elusive. At the start of each player's turn, that player chooses to either make a token creature or draw a card. And then lastly, the evil Corner the Market. During your opponent's next turn, they cannot play cards. And each time they discard a card from their hand, they may archive that card. This is like a game winner card. Like if this is played with proper timing, it's a game winner, for real. Alright, so then this is what the Archon card looks like. Legacy Grabber Jammer, super cool. Some pretty disruptive stuff in there. The Corner of the Market with some really nice Unfathomable stuff. Martian Revolution is exciting. But yeah, overall, I think those are a couple fun and solid decks. I think the 2 new KeyForge players would be quite happy with the 2 decks that they end up with. After being very skillfully and cleanly, artfully walked through the mechanics with these really cool learning decks. That's really cool. Yeah, I think Ghost Galaxy absolutely nailed it with the 2-player starter set. Very much does a good job of going through the mechanics and the way the game is played and everything, while providing a couple decks and some really cool information. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think of the 2-player starter set down in the comments below. I'm definitely interested to hear your thoughts. I haven't really opened up too many 2-player starter sets from past sets, except for Mass Mutation. I opened lots of Mass Mutation 2-player starter sets, so seeing the difference between those ones from FFG and these ones from Ghost Galaxy was really cool. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and I can't wait to see you all again in the next one. See you later.